So the theory of multiple intelligences was developed in 1983 by Dr. Howard Gardner, and he was a professor at Harvard University. He suggested that the traditional notion of intelligence based on IQ testing is too limited, and instead he proposed 8 different intelligences to account for a broader range of learning potential in children and adults. The intelligences that he recognises or identifies are linguistic intelligence, which is word smart, the logical mathematical intelligence, so number and reasoning, spatial intelligence, bodily kinesthetic intelligence, musical intelligence, interpersonal, which is obviously people smart, and then intrapersonal, so it's knowing yourself. And the last one he recognises is naturalistic intelligence. Dr. Gardner says that our schools mostly pay attention to the linguistic and logical mathematical intelligences and don't recognise the other intelligences. So we should really pay equal attention to the individuals who show gifts other than those intelligences, such as the artists, the architects, the musicians, the naturalists, the designers, etc., and therapists. So I thought I would probably bring teachers into Zotara's Build to start them thinking and rethinking how they teach and whether they cope with, whether they actually offer training to the children in all these different sorts of intelligences. To actually view it in a book is pretty boring, but to bring everybody in world and to actually think about the intelligences by experimenting with them, it brings it to life in a different way. So when you go onto Zotara's Build, the first intelligence build that you walk into is the musical one. Now she's got out at the moment only 1 elven drum and 3 steel drums, and she's got a few pictures of concerts that she's been to in Second Life. And I was thinking, well, we've actually got far more than this in Learn for Life. We've got a whole set of elven drums in the drum corner. We've got the steel pan drums on the beach. We've got 2 more musical builds, one in one of the pitches right over on the far side of the island and another one in the sandbox. So we could actually bring teachers here and start thinking about how you learn with those people that have got the musical intelligence, the musical children, musical types of people. So I thought, right, well, perhaps I wouldn't take them to Zotara's Build. Perhaps I'd bring them to Learn for Life. And then he mentioned the naturalistic intelligence. And in Zotara's Build, the green circle represents that. And she's got a tree that you can climb up into and a swing where you can sit and swing. And she's got a bird that makes a noise, and she's got an animal. And I thought, well, on Learn for Life, we've got the wetlands, we've got butterflies, we've got water, we've got the kingfisher, we've got the ducks, we've got the herons. We've actually got everything and more here on Learn for Life. So we could go and sit in the wetlands and think about learning in a naturalistic setting. So you can go and have a think about that one later on. And then I went to her mathematical intelligences section. Now she used to have out loads more games than she's got at the moment, because as I say, she's rebuilding this. So she's got the pegboard out there. Now it's recognised that people who've got logical and mathematical intelligence understand better when they find information is associated with numbers, dates, percentages, or is quantified in some way. So I thought, well, we haven't actually got a mathematical section in Learn for Life at the moment. So I went and did the same blue build, the blue circle as Zotara has got on her build. And I put out a peg puzzle, a tic-tac-toe game, a Sudoku game and a shuffle puzzle. So I thought, well, later on, perhaps you can go and have a look at those sort of activities and see if that might relate in some way to your learning. I know it doesn't to mine, but never mind. Then Gardner recognises the literacy and linguistic intelligence, and you can see a picture there of Zotara's Build, and it's got bookshelves, and it's got a place to read, it's got a map to read, and it's got a place you can sort of write a poem or a book and post that for other people to share. There are book excerpts as well there that you can read. So I thought, no, we haven't got one of those in Learn for Life either. So on the sandbox, I went and I put a little round yellow circle like Zotara's. And on it, I put a couple of books that I'd already done for another build, and I put a rug that you can lie and read a book. And then I thought, well, this is absolutely crazy, because with this new viewer, I can just put a link to the whole of the Gutenberg library. So I put a link to Alice in Wonderland, I put a link to the whole Gutenberg library. And then I thought, what did I think? There's definitely a video. Oh, I know. I went to a conference the other week, the IATEFL conference again, that's the second time it's been mentioned, and Jan Black was actually there telling stories. So I put her video into a little book, so you can actually listen to somebody reading their own stories. So I thought, well, we've got actually more literacy, linguistic intelligence in our build than there is over on that build. Okay, I bet I'm going to run out of time. Interpersonal and social skills. Well, of course, this is the place where people sit round, talk together, discuss things, throw ideas at each other, and they learn in group settings. People who love being in groups, have a cup of coffee, have a cup of cocoa. So I went over to our TP plot. I mean, there's lots of different meeting spaces on Learn for Life. We've got hundreds of them. But I went over to the TP meeting space, and I put out hot chocolate and cookies. And there is already a fire, and there are cushions. So we've got our interpersonal social intelligence meeting space that you can go and experience for yourselves later on, after the Teach Meet is over, if you fancy that. Lots of things to look at on the island. Yeah, hot chocolate and cookies, that sounds good, doesn't it? Okay, and then we've got the spatial and artistic intelligence. And Zutara had put a teal circle out with the spatial artistic intelligence. And the challenge here is to build towers. So she's put a load of physical blocks out. They're quite challenging. But if you're a spatially intelligent person, you will enjoy the challenge. If you do manage to build a tower, please take a photograph of it and send it to me, and I'll put it up on the build. Spatial and artistic people learn best by drawing or making creative representations of the subjects. So I've put out what I call mad blocks. I got the idea from Sutara's build a couple of years ago, and I've used them a lot. But I've put out the mad blocks, and I've put out some quite interesting pictures. They're Second Life pictures, so it might not be exactly as you expect to see them. So again, that's in the sandbox. Go and have a look at the build. Enjoy building a mad block tower, and please do with me. I've got one build left to do. It's the kinesthetic intelligence, so go to the club and dance. That's all I ask. All right, I'm going to stop there. Thank you very much.
Wonderful. Thank you.